want them to see the crowd gathered and know that a lot of these people really do care about the demographics that are susceptible to suicide, about the demographics that are hopeless. Why I invited our Premier and the Leader of the Opposition was to give them an opportunity to show the public that the leading cause of death in northern Saskatchewan is deserving of bipartisan collaboration, is deserving of respect beyond political ties and egos. And I suppose our Premier and their caucus just didn't really have the courage to do that.
Hi, my name is Chantal McLeod. I am 24 years of age and I live in Stanley Mission, Saskatchewan. Growing up here, it was great. I love growing up here. I love being close to family and close to friends. The only struggle was in school. And I was a straight A student. And the bullying for me started when I was in kindergarten. I have a light skin complexion, and growing up on a reservation with this light skin complexion, it does make you like an automatic target. So it went from being called fat and ugly and just like good for nothing. You're just a white girl, you know, go back to the city where you belong. And it got to that sense of like, do I even belong here? Although I grew up here my entire life, like I started to question if I really did belong. Like put me down to the point where I just didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. And I think that's like where my anxiety started. So I was constantly overthinking at such a young age. I had my hair in a ponytail. It was very long. I was just so happy to have long hair for finally. And then one day they just grabbed it and they cut it off. It led to suicide, depression, and severe anxiety. Even when I was up there trying to learn like my people's way of knowing, like I was so fascinated with learning how to, you know, make a hide and do all of this, and they just said, you don't belong here, you don't need to learn this stuff, and like, you know, go learn how to do this and that the white men do. And it just like really discouraged me to the point where I didn't even want to learn about my culture anymore. So after that trip, I stopped and I felt like I lost something in me. I honestly don't know how I survived all that. I think of how I felt. And what I felt was like just empty. Like I kept questioning, like, why am I even here? Like, what do I have to live for? She really cared for my future. And she wanted me to have a good future. Every day she would say that education is the way out. Education is going to give you a good life. And those words stick with me throughout it all. Did get to the point where I thought, you know, education is not worth feeling like this all the time. I didn't see any light. It was always dark. There was always thoughts just like telling me, like, you should just do it. Like, you know, you're worthless. Because it's the words that they would tell me, like, you're just worthless, you know, you're not worth anything in this town. And like they said it so much that I started to believe it myself. I decided to keep living for my kids, and a couple years later, it hit me again to just start living for myself also. Just keep breathing. Literally, like, just keep breathing. Because in the darkest moments, it may seem like it's gonna last forever. Maybe it'll last weeks, maybe it'll last months. For me, it lasted years. I was in that dark place for years. And I felt like it wasn't gonna go anywhere. It wasn't going anywhere. But eventually you do see that light. You do see the light at the end of the tunnel.
This is our language, this is our culture, and it is not intended to be taught in a classroom.
Come on, king crabber. That's how it's done, diba?
I'm not going to be around forever. If I leave knowledge with you, if I leave what I know how to do with you, then after that it becomes your responsibility. Jayush is going to start making snowshoes. He's got all the little pieces. Here's a hatchet. Now, the snares were right here. Okay, so there's, hang on, I'll take this out. Some of these snares are no good. Some of them are good. At the beginning of the year, they were taught how to set rabbit snares, how to cut down trees to feed rabbits, to attract them. And it is very important because we do live in the bushes. The kids need these skills. 2 is good. You're going to check out those ones?
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's your hatchet.
Okay.
Okay. Remember, make sure you remember where you're going so that way you can backtrack so you don't get lost. You might have to push this side here. There. That's better. Okay, now do your other one. Exactly the same as you did the first one there. You might even see otter, mink, maybe. A lot of the parents my age we did not teach our children the language. We didn't. And I am one of those people. That I did not teach my children that language. I was a product of the residential school syndrome where if I spoke my language, I was beaten for it. I was sent to bed without supper for it. And my husband also went to the student residence. So when we had children, we had a discussion as to whether we should teach our kids the language or not. And because of the negative experience that we had, we decided that maybe it's best we didn't teach our kids. Years later now, in hindsight, as they say, I wish I did not do that. I wish that I taught my children my language. Tässä mä katsoin sanoa sekin päätä. Katsoi muutenkin, jos mä katsoin taksi. Hän went. Ajatsi puu piti pähvisen sipu karkaa mistä net Susanna siku takkoikin mistä niin. Mä kistän niitä tui Peter. Kistän mä kan niitä tui. So now, my grandchildren, the only time they hear it is when my husband and I speak it, because my two children don't speak it. And a lot of young people are in the same boat. A lot of them wish that their parents taught them Cree. My throat hurts to get it. That's not just when we try to give me that the chapa saw that.
She didn't give me it until she started putting me in here.
So it was all her fault, is it?
Yeah.
You're good.
Someday, hopefully these kids are going to grow up. They're going to have their own children. So now they have some knowledge that they can pass to their children. So that knowledge is not lost and the culture is not lost. Not even! You're going to throw it? Road.
Land base. You get to do a lot of stuff out here. Set snares, snowshoeing. You know, make some bannock.
That's it too.
It's fun. It's like, yeah, it's fun. It's more bonding time.
Okay, start from where we did. No cheating, Melvin.
And Melvin.
What do you mean no cheating?
Yeah, you're trying to touch the tree. Whoa! Terrible! Okay, Peter. It also connects you to the land. So the language and the culture are all intertwined. You can't do one without the other. So it is very important for the kids to learn their language and to learn their culture as well as for a sense of belonging and their self-identity as well. Somebody come and hold it down right here.
Like if you go out in the lake, and a lot of stuff helps. If you come here.
What do you do with the hard apple? Well, take it to a taxidermist.
With these gloves
Yeah.
on? No.
No, they're easy.
Yeah.
It looks like crab right there.
Someday, these kids are going to be adults. They need to learn to be independent.
Look, I'll give you a piece of cardboard.
Okay, I got it.
The thing that I have seen over the years is a lot of parents do not allow their kids to do this, to do that. And in order for kids to learn to be independent and responsible adults, they have to learn. They have to learn to do this, to do that. They have to make mistakes. Every now and then you might have to cut your finger. Put a Band-Aid on it. Keep going.
Ooh, it smells like stinky fart.
Plant a seed in these kids to learn to be independent, to learn to do things on their own. Then even if you only plant that one seed, then you have accomplished something. You have managed to sway one kid to be able to be independent.
That's how I'm gonna grow up, and I want to teach my kids how nature is too when I grow up.
You want to raise an independent generation, not a dependent generation.
They can make a little small. I sand them and I will make another one this time.
How do you make this?
Yeah, that's how I do.
That's so cool.
Go observe, go learn. It's a skill that's going to be lost. And if you observe, someday you might try it and you might be the only person that'll have that skill. And it'll be your responsibility to pass on that skill.
Over the handle thing, please.
Huh?
I need a dog sleigh because I have a bunch of dogs.
Oh, you got a dog. We're skin to make a rabbit.
I'm not going to be around forever. If I leave knowledge with you, if I leave what I know how to do with you, then after that it becomes your responsibility.
It feels weird walking in these.
I have taken kids out here and then they say it's really quiet, and I said, well, sit quietly. You can actually hear your own heartbeat. And a lot of the kids have actually, never sat down and listened to their own heartbeat. But out here you can actually hear it. You can actually hear your own heartbeat out here. It is so quiet. It's beautiful. When you see the kids come out here, you see them relaxed. You see them enjoy themselves.
Jake! Jake!
Are you going to try it, Jake? Okay.
There's one under the...
Don't miss the tree, Julie. You got winning right now.
There's nothing wrong with making a mistake. If you don't tie your snowshoes right, well, fine, retie them. If you don't do something right the first time, nobody's going to give you heck for it. You just try and try again, and that's how you learn.
But pull it at the same time.
The kids want to keep coming back, and that's the good thing, that they really enjoy being out here.
Way
Isquio, why did you drop your hope? Isquio, where did you go? Isquio, did you know those white men left no place where we can go to leave prayers and tears and tobacco where your beautiful bones rest below? Isquio, we needed you. Isquio, we need you still. Isquio, we're sorry we're too late. We're sorry it took so long. We're sorry we weren't ready to be strong. But Isquio, we're ready now.